Hello my friends, glad you made it back to another video. Today I want to give you a couple tips on leveling up in Escape from Tarkov that will help you unlock the flea market in no time. First tip is, stay in the raids longer. Not to sound like Captain Obvious here, but if you stay in the raids longer, you will have a chance to kill more scavs, which in return means you get more experience, right? As you know, almost every single action you do in the game results in experience gained. For example, if you loot a duffel bag, you get experience. You fix a fractured leg, you get experience. You drink or eat, you guessed it, you get experience. So, the longer you stay in the raid, the more of those actions you can stack and get more experience. Pretty simple, right? But let's dive a little deeper into the in-raid experience, and then we can talk about things like questing a little later. Killing scavs is one of the best ways to accumulate a ton of experience throughout the raid. Obviously, compared to killing raiders, rogues, and bosses, it is not that great. But since scavs are always going to be your most killed enemy, let's talk about how we can maximize the experience gained from them. The first thing you have to know is that if you kill a scav, you gain experience, obviously. But killing a player is over twice as much experience. So that means you should focus on killing PMCs, right? Wrong. You should actually avoid fighting PMCs at all costs, since they are the ones that generally are going to end your raids and send you back to the menus. So you should focus on two things: staying in raids longer and avoiding PvP. The longer you spend in raid, the more scavs you run into, so you get more chances of killing scavs. Also, players generally do not stay in the raid for very long, especially during the early wipe, as they find their Salewas or other quest items that are required to be found in raid. But I am sure we can all relate to finding a Salewa and just not wanting to risk it, so we just leave. So once you get to destroying scavs, you have to make sure you kill every single one of them with a headshot, since that is an extra 1.1x multiplier on top of the scav kill itself. To keep things simple, let's say killing 10 scavs nets you 1000 experience. In reality, it's a little less, but for the sake of simplicity, let's go with 1000. If every single one of those kills is a headshot, that gives you an extra 1.1k experience on top of the original 1000 experience. That is total 2100 experience from just killing scavs. Not too bad, right? We can stretch that experience even further than that. If you go and search the body, before even finding a single item, you gain experience based on the value of the gear and what they have in their pockets. This can range from between 20 experience to 150 experience, which is basically free experience from just clicking F once. You can literally click it and then leave. You do not have to search the pockets, though that does net you extra experience as well. I generally skip pockets and rigs if the amount of experience is less than 100. If it is over 100, then they can have some decent keys or items in their pockets or backpacks that I might need in the future for questing, for example, or just to make money. Also, everything you drag from the scav body onto your character, you gain extra experience, like guns or even their package use if you put it in your backpack. You can do that and then just throw it away. It is a little bit of experience, but honestly, I cannot be asked to cheese it to that extent. Another massive boost to experience is killing scavs from a longer distance, as that nets you an extra 100 experience on top of everything else. To be honest, I don't actually know what is considered a long shot, but my guess would be if it is around 100 meters, you shouldn't have any trouble getting that bonus. But it could be way less than that as well. Also, every point in energy or hydration restored is 1 experience. Might not sound like a lot, but it is not that uncommon to lose all of your energy or hydration in the raid. And since you will be playing longer raids, you will need to eat and drink at some point to avoid getting penalties from going hungry and thirsty, like losing your health, for example. I recommend eating and drinking everything you do not plan on extracting with, as it does level up your metabolism as well as giving you experience. If you play, let's say, a 30-minute raid, for example, I see no reason why that shouldn't be an extra 300 or so experience. And now, the most important tip of the video is surviving. Every single time you survive, your total experience gained in raid is multiplied by 1.3x. So, if you do all those things we just talked about, let's say you gain 10,000 experience. Once you survive, that 10,000 is going to turn into 13,000 experience. And obviously, you're not going to get 10,000 experience every single raid, but I'm just trying to paint a picture here. And that 1.3x really adds up over the course of the wipe as you start accumulating more and more XP per raid. Questing is the second biggest source of experience. The main thing I recommend doing is do not overwhelm yourself with the amount of quests you try and do in one raid. If you just started playing Tarkov recently, really just focus on 1 quest at a time, and over time bring that up to 2 quests per raid, for example. But I generally try not to do more than 3 quests in one raid. This obviously depends on the type of quest they are, but having 5 different pickups and trying to do in one raid is very risky, as other people will be going for the same items or they will just be in the vicinity to them. The more of those areas you visit, bigger the risk of dying and losing every single one of them, which means you will have to go and do them all over again. But at the same time, try and combine at least 2 or 3 of them in one raid if possible. Besides doing pickup and other quests requiring you to kill scavs, a lot of the tasks are just handing in found in raid items. This image here contains every single item you need to have found in raid for upcoming quests throughout the wipe. This can change slightly as we get more streets quests, for example, but you get the general idea, as all the early game stuff has always been the same. Collecting those items in advance can be a massive boost to leveling up fast in Escape from Tarkov, as you are ready to hand them in immediately after unlocking them one after another. I suggest investing in a lucky scav junk box and throw as many of those items in there as possible to save yourself some space, obviously. And also, while we are on the topic of questing, at level 5 you unlock daily tasks. These can range in difficulty, which also means the amount of experience you gain from them is different. Generally though, it is between 3,000 and 10,000 experience. These are like dailies but much harder, but at the same time they also net you a bigger amount of experience. Down the line though, once you hit level 46, you get a massive boost to dailies and weeklies. Dailies then can net you from between 20 to 70,000 XP per quest, and I have seen weeklies go up to around 250,000 experience for some of the more difficult ones. Now, how do you balance dailies and weeklies with your regular questing? It is very simple actually. If you have a daily quest requiring you to go and extract shoreline 5 times, for example, but you do not have a single task there, just skip it for today, and alternatively you can replace it for a fee, but you also take a hit to your trader rep with the given trader. I wouldn't replace weeklies until you have reached max traders at least. You can do weeklies over a period of 7 days, so unless it's something stupid, you surely have a chance of actually completing it. Dying, unfortunately, is inevitable in Escape from Tarkov. Once you do meet your maker, in our case Nikita, he sends us back to our stash with some slight health issues. Fortunately, Therapist is generous enough to fix us right up for a little fee, though it is free up until you get level 5. But instead of using Therapist at all, you can skip her and go into your stash and use one of your first aid kits to do it yourself, since it does give you a decent experience boost, since every single point of health healed gives you 1 experience. It does not sound like a lot, but imagine doing this every single time you die. This will result in tens of thousands of experience over the course of the wipe. Obviously, you do not have to go and do it until the end of times. I know I certainly don't, but just a great tip in case you are looking to cheese some extra XP. It doesn't matter which first aid kit you use. I personally have a couple of grizzlies in my stash, but you can use the cheeses or car med kits. You know, whatever heals works great. So let's summarize everything and make sure we do not forget anything. Number 1, focus on staying in raids longer, but at the same time make sure your number 1 priority is survival. Best way to do that is avoid fighting other players, and if you manage to survive, all of your accumulated experience is multiplied by 1.3x. Number 2, kill as many scavs with headshots as you possibly can, since that is a huge boost in experience gained. And also go search through their bodies for even more extra experience. You do not have to go through the pockets at all. Just pressing search and leaving is enough. But if you wish to do so, by any means, go for it, as that will result in even more experience. Obviously, this applies to searching PMC bodies as well. If you see a bunch of scavs killed by someone else, you can do the same thing. Just go and click through them and be on your way. One thing I should mention though, if the bodies are in the middle of a open field or open area in general, maybe skip searching their pockets, as that can be a death sentence if someone does stumble upon you. If you're going to be proning there or standing there searching their bodies, you are going to be a free kill for them. Number 3, eating, drinking, and healing are another great source of experience, as you get 1 point of experience for each point healed or replenished by drinking and eating. Number 4, if you do happen to die, do not use Therapist to heal. Instead, hop into your stash and use one of your medkits instead. I personally have 3 grizzlies in my stash right now that are just for that purpose alone. I will never bring them into the raid. And finally, questing can be tough, especially for a new player, but try to have multiple quest objectives if you feel like you can handle them, as stacking quests can be extremely beneficial for fast progression. Also, do not forget to gather required quest items in advance, as this is another way to skyrocket your progression. Just in case, I'll say it again, if you feel like you can't handle it, or you are a new player and you're just learning, don't worry about it. Doing 1 quest at a time is just fine. But I think that covers just about everything. Let me know if I missed something, and I will make sure to throw it into the pinned comments. But as usual, my friends, I appreciate you watching, and I will catch you in the next one. Hope you have a great day.